Good morning, students. Welcome to online session of Social Sciences. In today's class, I'll start explaining chapter 7. Name of the chapter is Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication. Means in this chapter we will study about three factors. That is settlement, second is transport and third is communication. So I'll start with the first factor, that is settlement. So as you all know that in early period that people they were nomads, or you can say that prehistoric people they were nomads. They were moving from one place to another place, okay, and they were using some tools and weapons which were made up of stones, and that weapons and tools they were very crude, means they were not very fine. So they were using the tools and weapons for the hunting purpose, hunting of animals and cleaning their hides. Okay. Now these nomads they were moving from one place to another, like they were moving from one forest to another to gather some food and to do hunting of animals so that they can eat their flesh. So these kind of process it was in continuation for several thousand years, and this stage was called hunter gatherers stage, and that is the stage when that early man they were doing, or they were having that nomadic lifestyle. Now one picture we are having down in our book. Here you can see this is the picture of Bhakarwal herding sheep. Now these nomads they can be categorized into three. Here you can see first is hunters gatherers, second is transhumans, and third is gypsies. First I will explain about hunter gatherers. I am having one picture of this hunter gatherers. I'll show that picture to you. See, this is the picture of hunter gatherers. What they were doing, they were roaming from one place to another place to hunt the or do hunting of the animals so that they can eat their flesh. And they were easily found in the Jarawa tribals of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, then pygmies of Congo Basin in Africa, and in this place only that the world's shortest people they were living. And what they were doing, they were collecting some nuts, roots of the plants and some fruit so that they can eat them as their food. Next is transhumans. See, this is the picture of transhumans. What these people are doing, they are moving from one place to another according to the season, according to the climate, you can say. Here what they were doing, in the time of summer season, they are going to the higher reaches of the mountains, and during the winters they are coming down to the plain area. And these people they are usually found in Bhakarwals of Kashmir. Easily you can see in this picture they are moving or they are going to that higher part of the mountain there. Third is gypsies. See, this is the third category of that nomadic people. They are called gypsies. What these gypsies do, they travel from one place to another place, and we can easily, and you also might have seen some people or some that gypsies people near that road or any area that they are selling some goods which are made up of iron. One picture I am having that I will show. Okay, this is the only picture of the gypsies. Okay, so this kind of people you might have seen over that roadside selling some utensils made up of iron. Okay, and you might have seen that this kind of people selling some medicines beside the road. So these all are called gypsies. Earlier they were using carts, bullock carts. Okay, but by that time they started using some motor vehicle. Nowadays we can easily see these gypsies people traveling through motor vehicles. Now all these three categories of people, they all are today having some preference and they are having separate identity. Now if you talk about that India, so in India only there are a number of this kind of people are living, those who are still depending upon the hunting and the food gathering process. In beside India, in Australia, in New Zealand, and United States of America and many other countries, still this kind of people are living. Okay. Now I will explain that first factor of human environment, that is settlements. So as you all know that earlier that people were nomads, but after that they started doing farming. Okay, and they also started doing domestication of animals. So these two elements, you can say that farming and domestication of animals, they had given the practice of living at one particular place. As that people when started doing agriculture, so they are not able or they don't want to leave that particular place, and in this manner that they started living at that particular place only, and that is called their settlements. Now we are having some reasons for development of that settled habitation. First of all, we are having the topography. Topography, you can say that surface, okay, land. So as the people they got the proper or appropriate surface to make their settlements, they started living at one place only. Second reason was that introduction of farming and invention of tools. So that farming, as the people they started doing farming, so it was not possible for them to leave that place and move and then do new cultivation in new place. So as they were doing farming, they have started living at one place only. And invention of tool also helped them in the settled habitation. How that earlier they were using that crude tools and weapons, and later fine tools and weapons they started using. So as they were getting that good tools, so their work of that farming work was easy to do. Third point was that climatic condition. Now one picture I will show, that picture is of Sahara, and that is before 7,000 to 10,000 years old one. Okay. See, this is the picture of Sahara. Nowadays we are presently we are knowing as the Sahara desert. So you can believe that this is the picture of Sahara. Yes, this is the picture of Sahara, and this is of 7,000 to 10,000 years ago one. Okay, later what happened, because of the climatic changes, the place started turning into a desert, and the people those who were living there started moving from that continent to other continent. Next picture I'll show, that is of Sahara desert in present day. See, this is the picture of Sahara desert in present. Here we can see there is no vegetation, no plant, no tree is there. Okay, and this happened because of the climatic conditions. Next point is availability of sources for living, such as clean air and water, fruits, vegetables, or even animals to hunt for food. So as that some sources of living were needed, means on which that living or life was totally dependent. Which are the elements, that's clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and fruits and vegetables to eat, and beside that some animals also, so that they can hunt them and have or eat their flesh. So as it was available on that particular place, they started living in that on that place only. Next is development of culture and surplus agriculture produce led to quest for higher standard of living. When the people they started doing agriculture or started doing cultivation, they were producing their product for their own life, for their own survival. Later on, what they have done, they were keeping the required product along with them, and the surplus means which were not required by them, they were selling them, and they were purchasing that other item for which were necessary for their living, or which help them to improve their standard of living. Next is marriage. Marriage means they started that doing marriages, so they started living at one place only. Kinship means that blood relation as brother or sister or uncle, and this kind of blood relation was there, so they don't want to leave them and go, so they started living at one place only. Next reason was security of family. As they were living at one place, so there is a lot of security for their family member. And tribes also. Tribe means that people belonging to one community. So these all were the reasons which help in the development of settled habitation. Next is types of settlements. So basically we are having two types of settlements. First is temporary settlement and another is permanent settlements. So what is the meaning of temporary settlements? It means that when the people they settle at a place for a short period or for a temporary period, that is called temporary settlement. Under this, forest dwellers and hunters gatherers and the people practicing transhumance means the people those who are moving from one place to another place on the basis or because of the climate. Okay, so this can be this kind of people, they are coming under temporary settlements. Another is permanent settlements. First I'll show the picture of permanent settlements. See, this kind of hunter gatherers and that forest dwellers, they are coming under this temporary settlement. Next is permanent settlements. So in next type, that is permanent settlements, under this category people those who build their different types of houses according to their convenience. Okay, that kind of settlements are coming under this category. Here I'll show some pictures. Under this permanent settlements, there are two kinds of settlement. First is wet point settlements and another is dry point settlements. So under wet point settlements, we are having some different kinds of settlements. This wet point settlements, we can easily see that is around the water courses like river banks or sea coast. This can be easily found in Mesopotamia, Egypt, Rome, Indus Valley and China. Okay, so these are the examples of wet point settlements. They are also called river valley civilization. Now in this civilization or this kind of settlements, that water, they played a very crucial or very important role in the development and the progress of early town cities. How they have played the important role? Because water was the way of transport, you can say, through which that people they were transporting that their product one place to other place, and they were moving also from one place to another place. Next, I will show the picture of some wet point settlements. See, this is the picture of a wet point settlement. This is given in our book. This place is Varanasi. Okay. Next is dry point settlements. And the settlements on higher ground and which are not having that water or flooding kind of problem, they are coming under this dry point settlement. This is the picture of dry point settlement of Baluchistan. Now here we are having different kinds of settlements. I'll show the pictures of that settlements. See, like this marshes, then estuaries are there. See, this one, estuaries are there. Then some settlements can be easily found that in that place that is far away from the sea coast. Now we are having one example here, that is of dry point settlement, and that is Kettle-Yok, that is in Turkey. And this is the earliest example of dry point settlement. I'll show the picture. This is Kettle-Yok. Okay. Another picture I am having, that is of that Peshawar, which is in Pakistan now. This is the picture of Peshawar, that is in Pakistan. And this is why it is having that importance, because it is in the Khyber Pass route that is linking that Afghanistan and Pakistan. I am having one picture of that Khyber Pass. See, this is the Khyber Pass, and that is connecting that Afghanistan with the Pakistan. Now we are having two kinds of settlement. First is rural settlement, another is urban settlements. Now in the rural settlements there are villages, basically villages are there where that people are living who are totally that dependent on agriculture, or that work they are doing, they are related to the agriculture. Means like they are having that occupation of fishing and craft work. Okay, this type of settlements mean rural settlements. They are having different kinds of house. Some houses they are on hills and hills of that hill slope, and they are having very heavy rainfall and snowfall. For in that places they are having house which are having that sloping roofs over there. Some houses which are near the marshes, that houses are called that silt houses. So in this manner, that in that rural areas, that according to the place, you can say, or according to the topography, they are having the different kinds of settlements. Some picture I will show. By the help of that you can easily understand the different kinds of houses. See, you can see in this picture that houses are here. Some are made of that mud, and they are having that roof which is made up of straw. So this kind of settlements we can easily see in rural areas. See, this is the next kind of picture. In this picture you can easily see these houses are over the water. This kind of houses are called silt houses. Okay. One picture having in our book, that is explaining the rural settlement of that habitation. See here you can see 4 types of settlements are given here. First is compact, then linear, second next is scattered, third is star-like. So here in compact you can see that houses or the settlements are very compact in manner, means very close to each other. Likewise you can see in linear you can see that houses or the settlements are in a proper line, you can see, okay, means properly arranged. Another, and here we are having that railways, roads and water bodies, and this brown it is showing the settlements. This is the index. Next we are having scattered. Third one is scattered. Easily you can see here some that group of settlement is there. Then here that space is have been left out over there. Then another settlement is here in this area. Likewise. So this is called scattered settlement. Next is star-like settlement. Here easily you can see here water tank is there, and around that water tank settlement is there. And in a you can see that like this star shape. So here is settlement left side, here. So on the basis of their settlement it is called star-like settlement. Now next is urban settlement. Next is urban settlements. So the towns and cities are urban settlements. They all are well connected by the roads and other all required services. Now this is the picture. This picture is showing the Trans-Siberian Rail route. With the help of this picture we can easily understand this, that settlements which are here in this area, they are totally connected by the roads. Here it is the example. In this we can see that towns and cities how they are connected along with Trans-Siberian Rail route, that is linking from that linking to Perm. Here I will show that Perm is here, okay. With the help of this I want to explain, okay. With the Perm is here, see, okay, and till where it is reaching this Vladivostok. So this Trans-Siberian route, this is linking Perm in the East Russia. See, this is the Russia, and from this Perm, that is name of the place, from here with the help of this route it is linking till Vladivostok, okay, in the west. And this is extension to the Hong Kong and Hoi via China. Then major international highways are also connected to the route. Okay, so this was the different types of settlements we have studied today. In next class I will explain regarding the transport. Thank you.